people have mysteriously vanished in America's wilderness. Join us as we dive into the deep end of the unexplainable and try to piece together what happened. You are listening to Locations Unknown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a very special 100th episode of Locations Unknown. My name is Joe Irado. I'm your co-host, and with me, as always, is a guy whose house would integrate with the Furman, defeat the Harkonnen, and rule Arrakis fairly, Mike Van de Bogart.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you for that intro.
I just saw Dune 2, and it was the most beautiful masterpiece of a movie I've ever seen in my life.
I saw it on Sunday. It was amazing. I recommend everyone that's listening.
Oh, the hype is real.
Yes.
I went into a thing like, it can't be that good.
Yeah, it's that good.
It was literally that good.
So this is our 100th episode. This is, can't believe we're here. It took us 5 years to get to 100 episodes.
which just admits we need to do more.
Yes.
Because we should have done this a lot faster.
But we have a great episode today. We are back with Evan Stone. If you remember.
Evan B. Stone.
Evan B. Stone. He's tons of different amazing shows. He's got a great new show on YouTube that we're going to be showing you a couple videos of his stuff before we get going. But then we are going to dive into his time at Chernobyl, which is crazy and super cool. Can't wait to hear it. Just before we get going here, just a couple quick Patreon shout outs. So thank you to Stephanie Hansen, Emily Ballantine, and Chloe Castellas. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is all because of everyone that keeps tuning in and supporting the show. So can't thank you enough. Because I'm so excited for this episode, I am going to stop talking. So Joe,
we're gonna skip the normal formalities and we're gonna go right into Evan's adventure reels. So just again, a little bit of his accolades. We have Finding Bigfoot, Ghost Nation, Expedition X, Expedition Unknown, Destination Truth. And after this episode, he's going to talk about the new project he's working on with Jack Vaisey, SVC Explorers of the Unknown. They do it on TikTok. They have it on YouTube. We have a promo video we'll play before that. So
we'll put links to everything in the show.
We'll link it all.
Yep.
So we'll open up with his adventure reel, and then we're going to talk about his time at Chernobyl. There's a lot of cool stories. I'm so excited for this. And then we'll get into his new project. So without further ado, let's see if I can do this properly and pull this up. I think we did this in the last episode. I just have to go full screen with it. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? I'm Evan B. Stone, Music Cue. I'm a world-class adventurer and cinematographer. Basically, I go around the world and capture the adventure of travel. I specialize in really extreme stuff.
The current is terrible in here.
You okay? Really intense.
Like diving.
That's a plane. Unbelievable.
Climbing.
The whole wall is literally just disintegrating. Back up, back up, back up. Back up.
Anything that feels a little dangerous.
That goes all the way down to the ocean level.
Yes, almost 200 feet.
It's opening up into a chamber.
The viewer wants to be in the action. And that's what I give them.
This is the definition of madness.
These remote locations can be breathtakingly beautiful, but also just as deadly.
Here we go.
Just found a landmine back there. One more down, 4 or 5 million to go.
Firing now.
Anything can happen in these remote and exotic locations. And sometimes they do. I've learned in this business is keep shooting no matter what.
How are you? Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Bill.
Bill?
Yes.
You don't look like a Bill. That was a little touch and go there for a minute.
This is what travel is all about. And capturing that essence is my job.
This is the craziest welcome I've ever seen. I mean, I assume it's a welcome. I could be murdered in the next 10 minutes. I don't know. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Lay. We'll be here all week.
Watching that never gets old.
Yes. Evan, welcome back to the show.
Yes. Thanks. I didn't hear it, but I hope it was blasting. You know?
It was. Yeah, just I love that reel. It makes me like it FOMO so bad.
Yeah. It's like I've never seen a sample reel where someone narrates it. Why not, right? Yeah,
although the part where he goes up and meets a dude and says, "What's your name?" He says, "Bill." That's like my favorite. That's my favorite scene of the whole thing.
Could have gone really sideways.
Yeah, that was in Papua New Guinea, and it does go sideways. You can't just show up anywhere. And that morning, we're in the town. We're looking at the newspaper. It was like local tribe, gets cuts Achilles' heel of a tour guide. Or like, wait, what? Witchcraft. Yeah, it was like witchcraft. And like. It was like it was news, like witchcraft on, And I was like, okay. And then, that's a whole story.
So doing all that stuff, is that how you got to go to Chernobyl and do the inside?
Well, that was on Destination Truth.
Okay.
What you just saw there was on Expedition Unknown, is with Josh Gates. I'm Josh Gates's like bestie, like his buddy, his guy who, when it gets like real solo-ish, like I'm on the show, but when me and him go solo, which is when we get the real good stuff, we when it's like only two people, we mic them up and me and him just go, and you really get a lot of good stuff when there's no crew around. It's just you and you're just slinging a camera and you just kind of living in the moment and filming. It's a real special feeling. And Gatesy and I, we're like blood brothers. I mean, like if you at the end of a rope with someone for so long, or give me your hand, and it was real, like I'll pull you up. Like so, yeah. So do you want to talk about Chernobyl? How I got there? It was
Sure.
The show is called Destination Truth, and it's kind of a cult classic now. It's like hard. It's not on TV anymore, but everyone knows it. The crew is part of the show. I had to get cast for it. And I've been kind of doing the same thing all my life. I'm kind of a adventure guy, but I'm on camera because I'm a ham. But also a lot of times the story, it kind of crosses to that fourth wall. And documentaries, social issue documentaries and stuff, that's kind of my style. With Destination Truth, every episode was like the camera guy's like, I see something. The audio guy's like, I hear something. So we all were part of it, which is really unique. And I think, people are really, I haven't seen a show like that since, so it's really kind of, so that was one episode. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like, I think back then it was like no labor laws or something. Cause like we would go out. We would go out 3 months at a time, and then we'd come back for 10 days and go out for 2 months. And then, which is outrageous. I mean, we had 6 day weeks, and our day off was a travel day on going international. So like, it was just like, but you have to love it.
So they don't have to pay you in your getting to the destination.
I've learned that that's not right,
Yeah.
But at the time, it was right, and that's the way you do it. Because we were getting these round trip tickets, so it's the only way we could do it was that way. I don't think you could do it any other way for financially.
So you said that you were like everyone was cast, meaning they're looking specifically for not only your technical ability at producing and shooting, but also you work well on camera because they expected that to be a facet of the show.
Yeah, but what we're leaning on it. It's just like if something happened, you get enough, you know.
Okay.
And and I'm doing like hat tricks. I'm like, I'm good, like haha, like I'm a ham.
What year was this again?
It was it was 2009.
Okay.
And 2008, 9, 10.
Gotcha.
I was there for season 3, 3.5, and 4.
Okay.
And it was, I've done a lot of shows before that. I did the Amazing Race and things like that, but this was like in the SIH, every day you get, it's like people in the military, they sleep on the flight, before they drop, they're like sleeping, like in was it Predator, one of those, it's like,
when they're riding in the chopper and just like, oh, this ain't such a big deal. We're just about to go to war.
Yeah, I could sleep anywhere, and it's actually, people get mad at me because I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep here. But so this is one of our laps. I called it a lap. It's like we do 3. Every 10 days we did a show. It took 10 days to get there, and do the interviews with the experts, and go there and all this. And Chernobyl was on it, and it was one of those things where it's like I'm not sure if it's fun. Like, it's not like, oh my God, Egypt. Like, oh, we're going to go under the Sphinx. Oh, okay, that's cool. This is like, don't really know too much. What I did find out was when the closer we got, we didn't have all the paperwork done. Like, it was like that, and it was okay. Like, and plus, I wanted to shoot like, every stop we had, I was trying to get a shot. I'm like a hunter, I'm like, I want to get that shot because it's like part of the show that how we're not getting in almost. And then we'll get, a little bit of slippy dipples of some.
So like when you don't have all the paperwork, can you like use other paper to get your way in?
Of course. Yeah. It's like in those countries and in Egypt and places, there's like a menu. Like we did King Tut's tomb for $5,000 on a full moon, like all night. I was like, well, okay, how much? It's like a, I'm sure it's more now, but
sure.
Yeah, you just need some money, and doesn't that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all, I wouldn't say crooked, but
just how it works.
And in those places, that's how you get. Even though, they could say no, right? Even though the paperwork's right, so you got to slip. But it's also all about the fixer. And, the fixer is everything in this country. On every country we get it. The fixer, have you ever heard that expression?
Like an individual who can just make stuff happen?
They're like a local that knows everyone and can grease the palms.
So that might actually be a good start. So you guys are going to Chernobyl. You're going to film this show. How do you find like the fixer that's going to get you through that? How does that all work?
It's a small network of fixers in different countries. It's usually run by one person who are in each country that know, and then they have minions, they have local, it's like they're brothers in the, they're really connected people. Mm-hmm. And they can get you anything, right? So they can get you to jail, they know the mayor, they know, they talk the language here, they switch it up. So those kind of people, like if you were going to Vegas and your friend had the keys, he's like, I got you covered,
Sure.
And you're just like, wee, but they are so critical. They're producers really. Like if we weren't there, they'd be producing a show or, of their own. But now that we come, but they get it all. They get like, so it's a hard job.
You find these people through like you said, they're kind of like producers. Is this like a network you have because you're in TV and film? That you just have like this Rolodex of people?
Yeah, most of the time, if you've worked with Amazing Race, then you're in, and most people have in other countries. And I have. It's like nowadays it'd be like Naked and Afraid if you got it, or Deadliest Catch. It's like if you've been that, you're like, all right, you're in this clique of people that can do adventure travel shows, and you're no joke, right? It's like you vet it out. You can keep focus and make sure you're recording when something's going down. It's really.
So I got a question related to like the fixer. So you come up with the idea, you want to go to Chernobyl. What's the timeline from the genesis of that idea? Like, okay, we got to contact the fixer, get everything in order. What's the timeline from when you wanted to do it to like boots on the ground?
Months. I mean, we have 2 passports, and one goes to, in this case, and at the time it was like, where it is kind of gangster. It's kind of like not Russia, but like it's that world, that world of like, it's real, like no smiles. There's no smiles going around ever.
Like remnant of KGB, but not really.
I mean, in that whole Eastern Europe, they're hard people, and you don't smile or laugh or something or a lot because they'll think something's wrong with you, or that you're gonna do something to them.
If you're happy, something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
it's so terrible and miserable there.
Yeah, and we're like, sorry, and they're like, you say sorry one more time. They told us, they said, don't say sorry anymore, and say thank you only at the end.
So kind of being a dick would be beneficial there to them because they're kind of like expecting that.
They're just cautious.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
They can say something wrong. It's like gangster there.
Yeah, you forget like in the U.S., like in other countries, like you got to be careful what you say, or like you end up in the gulag.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but this is a place that was sadly enough, a lot of tragedy here with Chernobyl. I mean, there was a lot of people died, and they didn't tell, if you remember or not, when this happened, reactor 4 went off. They didn't tell anyone in Europe. I mean, I think Iceland, someone far away was like, something's going on because it went up and around. And then finally they're like, yeah, we have a problem. And there was a meltdown, right? And all the locals were told to get out right away. Right. But only when it was like kind of too late. They're like, everything's fine. And then, okay, everyone leave. And that's the weird part, is that, everything's left right there. So when we did go there, it was spooky, man. It's like out of a first person shooter game, like 100%, like, like those, like in the hallways, it's like zombies coming out, it was something. And, when I'm a paranormal investigator as well. And, when you go to a place that's known to have death, and it's not like, I wonder if one died. No, people died there a lot, and it was a courtyard that we went to that a lot of people buried it. It was stuff we found out, and so when you go to there, it's like, okay.
There's just a lot of that energy built up and stored there.
I didn't know. I wasn't really tuned to paranormal stuff. I was getting accustomed to it, but I did believe that there's something out there. But I was into like adventure travel, and I was just all I'm game for anything. Like, sure. I like suspending belief and then going with it. Like, oh, what are we doing now? Bigfoot? Cool. Tell me about it, and then just get all into it, because then sometimes you're like, wait, then you're like questioning yourself. Like, is it is real. It is real. And then you're like, what's that? And they're like, it's a Bigfoot. And you're like, oh, really? Wow. Because I can't explain it. But this is, we learned a lot getting there, or that we were told, and the crew especially, like we're told, before we got there, we had to eat these iodine, some sort of iodine pills or some sort of sign all these releases, more releases and more. And then take the photo with the release, one of those. Like you go skydiving, it's like, you're gonna, if we push you out. So you did all this monthly prep, and you're getting there. You have to take these pills. Were you ever concerned about your exposure to radiation? Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I tell you what, we put on a level 4 radiation suit, and once we put it on, we entered the zone. I didn't take it off. People were like, it's hot. I'm like, good luck with that. We had a dosimeter, like a Geiger counter, that I kept on my camera. And so if I got too close to a place, I was like, I'm good. They're like, go over there. I'm like, no, I'll zoom in. Like, I don't need to go there. Like, and then the guy with us, well, we could get to that.
Yeah.
Let's go step by step.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a bunch of pictures, so I'm going to add the screen if you want to pull those up, and we can just start going. And just we'll just free go through your adventure. You tell us about kind of what you saw, and we'll ask questions along the way if that's all right.
All right. So this is, do you see this shot here? This is, look at my face. Like, you know, this is the start of the city. You know, we're talking about Chernobyl's kind of a buildings and kind of Russian, you know, style, really kind of, you know, not that friendly.
Just Eastern Bloc construction.
Yes, sickle and hammer. You know, some Shepherd Ferry got his, you know, his vibe here. But yeah, so we get there, and you know, you see that camera I'm using, this little bit of it. That's what we used to shoot full-on TV shows with. It's called a Sony PD-150, and if you look at it now, it takes little hi-8 tapes. It's like a joke, but we shot a lot of stuff because the networks they wanted there wasn't high def, it was only SD. So sure. So there I am. Here we go. So we're gonna jump right in. You know, this is scary looking, right? I mean, look at that. I mean, right? And there's our sound man, Mike. All my sound men are named Mike. It's really crazy, but in the background is the reactor 4, and it has like a casing around it, and so we just couldn't believe we can get that close.
I was just going to ask. So, like, I haven't seen any protective gear yet, and you're in the city.
Well, they said it was safe, right? And that's when we were like, right. We said like, well, what's safe and what's not? That's you know, I'll let you know. And so they're not going to tell you. And then I was like, hey, this meter, what is not good? You know, like what's the level? And he wouldn't tell me, but what I did find out is one micro whatever gets in you. It's in you and you're dead. And then when you die, that little thing keeps going, that little microbe or that dust particle, and you'll die and they'll go into the earth and give it in someone else like 1,000,000 years. So it's like really dust. It's the dust that gets you. The things, it sticks to rubber. It sticks to certain things more than others. So
you were saying you had the Geiger counter or the decimeter on your camera, and you're walking around. So there's like pockets that are hotter than others.
Yeah. So here's my setup. You know, it's like the backpack has extra stuff in it. We're wired. There's Josh Gates, and in the background is it's like a shipping bay kind of thing. It's every boat's listing and half sunk. It's like ghosts. I mean, you don't go past this road. I mean, that water, those boats, it's, you know, you can imagine, right?
Just all radioactive.
I mean, you can't go down there. I mean, it's so bad. And that's also in the 2009. They really didn't. It wasn't. I'm sure now they have more of a like, you can't go here. Some of the places they told us you can't get across that field because there's so much radiation. You'll just be like, turn into a skeleton, you know? Jeez. So, yeah. So basically, there's me shooting. That's my style. You know, I to the eyepiece. I don't use the flip out ever. I want critical focus, and I think that's what makes a professional. And good exposure. And there's Josh. Let's see what else we got. So there it is. This is when we're first rolling in. So we had two of these. See those little Scooby-Doo van in front? That one. We had two of those, and we're hiding in the back, shooting through the whole thing was like, really, it was like a thing.
Not super official.
Yeah, and that's the style too. So we kind of lean into it, but it's real, right? Because you can't be like, they don't like cameras in their face. I mean, you got to be, but then if they see you shooting them, it is like, you got to be like, I have no shame. I mean, I do, but like, I'm really good at getting, like, I'm known to get shots. I'm known to not stop shooting. And that's my thing. Cause I used to do skate films, and the skate films, the dude does a trick, and he does it once, that's in the film. If you don't get it, it gets, it could be a problem.
Yes.
So here's one of the stops, and it was dreary, and it's just, So we had about, I don't know, 10 checks every time. Same thing. Give me this, give me that, get out. Let's look inside. What's going on? Obviously there's a war there now. So, imagine, I don't know. The first place we went is to the grave site. This guy's the first guy that died. He's like hero. Like he went in. I think they told him go in and grab the melting whatever. And he went in and he died. I mean, he got,
wow.
But I think he did do some heroic things, trying to save something. There was a lot of people, fire people there. They just went on head on in and, got radiated. So this is, there's our expert. There's Josh looking like he's being kind of silly. There's 2 camera coverage. We had 2 cameras. Usually we have 3, but on this show we had 2. So those tanks in the background, those treads is what the problem is. It's those things you can't get either closer than that. And that's when I was like, I was like,
Oh, is it like sticking specifically because they rolled around on the ground and picked up all the stuff, or why specifically the tread?
Something about rubber. Something about
you said it sticks to rubber. Okay,
rubber or some porous kind of stuff.
Okay.
More than others. I think if it's in the ground, it gets the dirt and stuff on top and years of that. But the whole place is okay. Look at this. So this is. We already have our radiation suits on. This is our first. It was like a courtyard with all these buildings around it, and is really ghosts of Chernobyl. Right? We're going on a ghost hunt, and we're not in some hotel. The Queen Mary. No. Our show, we did it up, and we have to we go on these things called sweeps, right? And that's what we do because you only have an hour on a tape. So you stay in a base camp and you go around for an hour and you come back and you change your batteries and you kind of talk about what you did and what you saw. I saw some shadow, figures over here, and I heard some noises, and oh my God, the door slammed. Then you come back, and then Josh it's just the format of the show. Josh would say, okay, now let's flank out over there where we heard that, and kind of do that. This court, you see the ground there. Let's see if there's another picture of it. Now, sadly enough, now a lot of those places around there look like that from the war. So we're looking at the famous Ferris wheel play area, carnival area of the area. This is the place where it's the most radioactive. This is the place where if you get close to the bumper cars, you're gonna die, and that even the guy was like, don't go near here. And when we went at night, I made sure, and I was always listening to I was like, right.
We'll stay away from there.
Yeah. So how creepy is this place? And it looks just, it's crazy.
What time of year were you there?
I think it was kind of cold.
Okay.
So it was like December maybe, or it was cold. And I remember when I put on my suit, I didn't take it off no matter what. And
I would do the same thing. It's so weird looking at that because it's like it was a city, like a bustling city, and just deserted. In an instant, the whole thing's gone.
And even though it's winter, you can kind of tell the vegetation just looks dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like a normal place in winter. It's stuff. It's winter, leaves are off, but everything looks like it's alive.
It's really, sad and depressing, and and death, and it was it was real, and it was not it wasn't a fun thing. It was more like a serious mission. We're gonna get in, we're gonna get out, and not get any dust in our, it was at a certain point. A lot of these shows I'm on, well, it's mostly with Josh, but there are certain shows that are actual expeditions, actual, you need, instead of a producer, you need more of a guide, and with a multi-day thing where we camp in the jungle and so it's not for everyone. I mean, I'm a mountaineer before I started doing shows, and I've done ice climbing and slept in, so this is all kind of fun for me. But this is different, and then of course there's the whole ghost hunting thing at night. So look at this. This is
super
what it's
creepy.
I know. And look up in you can just imagine up in one of those windows is like some child,
something watching you.
Child with a white dress. It's all ripped up and her eyes hanging out. Like, it's just because people died there big time.
So you walked around here at night too.
Like I said, we have the keys to the candy store here. When we pay money, we have the run of the place. And it's amazing what we do when you're doing a show with a small crew and you work it enough. Again, I can't talk for every Hollywood, production, but we ran real lean, and we're all like, we're not just cinematographers or sound guys. We're all like helping, and we're friendly, and we all have the same goal to get some shots and to have some time there to really do a ghost hunt. And that's fun. Ghost hunting is super fun when you finally get down to it. This stuff that, you open up your doors of perception, you release the, your reality, what is possible. And once you do that, it all comes at you, and and it's a mind game. It's, if you talk about spirits, because that you can conjure up something in your mind and think you saw something or you did, so it's a different thing than going like Bigfoot hunting or something where it's like that. This is like, you're dealing with emotions and people dying and spirits,
And you brought up a lot of the death. While you've been talking, I kind of looked up just some stats, and one of the stats I found from the Union of Concerned Scientists, they said the excess cancer deaths worldwide because of Chernobyl exceed 27,000.
Yeah, so, of course. And that's just what they say.
And that's what they know. I mean, there's probably, so not only did people die in the Chernobyl area, but like, we're talking tens of thousands of people have died because of Chernobyl.
I know.
After the fact, which is crazy.
And like 1,000 miles away, because it goes up in the air, and then the wind it's in a whole, like, another kind of world.
Yeah, this is another, real quick, just to kind of add to the gravity of Chernobyl. Some of the three countries really affected by it were Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia. Over 14% of Belarus was contaminated because of Chernobyl. 14% of the whole country.
Downwind, right?
Yeah.
Right? Downwind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So look at this. It's a room, and all the books are, that's pretty high up with books. It looks like I'm not sure why it's like that, but it looks so post-apocalyptic. It looks, you know what? I have a rule anyhow. I don't take anything from a ghost hunt, a graveyard or a cave or this. No way. Even though it's like, I did and I do take a lot of pictures on the side on my own. I have a camera slung around me. At the time, it was like a little, a thing with I think it was digital at the time, but it was like tick, 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 because I knew this was special, and I knew that I could tell stories about it one day. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. Not too many people have these photos. It's pretty cool.
I have a question about that, actually. So how has the film not affected? You said you're rolling on high 8 and it wasn't all digital. How does that survive or not get impacted by the radiation?
I don't think. See, the thing is, it's not at this point radiated like the air. It's just the dust and microbes of it that you don't want to breathe in. Okay. So, and we had full radiation. So we were breathing, through filters and all that. But yeah, those cameras got thrown away after. Okay. I was like, and this is done. Your PD 150 is done. And the tape, we had to, it was all like a game really of like, ooh, you took your glove off, you got cooties. You're like, what? Like some dude got hot and just pulled it off. I was like, wow, that's something, huh? And it's like,
have you followed
air.
up with the guys that are on this show with you to see if they're all doing okay?
Yeah, is his hand bigger than the other one?
Yeah, no, everyone seems fine. We were cautious, believe me.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, you just can't kick up dust, which we were doing, and you have to, when you take off your clothes, you're doing it separate. It was like what's that movie with the it's like the 6 Mile Island, that movie, with what's her face, anyhow,
like they hose them down in between, and like you have to wash everything off,
scrub you, like I got contaminated. Yeah, oh my god. So this is one of the shots. I mean, look what's going on here. It was left, and then looks like people ransacked it, and then it kind of left again, and this pencil's still on desk. I mean, these people just
is that like a schoolhouse or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is one of the places that we did an investigation, and it was in the nighttime. The big thing was these shadow creatures, these things that creep. They're like entities that kind of move around in shadows and go up walls and that whole thing.
So it's like this is like a known thing at Chernobyl. These shadow things. So did you experience any of that or witness that yourself?
Yes, for sure. It was a lot of that going on. And again, when you ghost hunting, you have to call it out. Hey, I see something. I hear something over here. We're doing an investigation. And like I said, for someone who's never done it, it's super fun. I mean, like once you go, let's go ghost hunting. And you tell us this is a place that is, haunted with the souls of, and you kind of like, and this is real. You kind of go, okay, because let's face it. Anyone who doesn't believe in afterlife or ghosts, they're lying because they have a ghost story, or they're religious and the Holy Ghost. Like it's something. There's always the non-believer is like, but I got a story, and everyone has that story. And I think that's why this genre is always going to be around, so popular, because people want to maybe there's something other than what we know, and some magic out there. Why does everything have to be, so scientific? Why can't we believe that it's magic or something else?
I like how you said before, how you just kind of enter it and kind of throw away your preconceived notions. And I really like that. The curiosity is, I think, what we like to see. I think with especially you producing a show, with your curiosity, you're going to be asking questions that everyone wants to know. And what science does tell us is that energy is conserved. So that's when you die, you had energy. Where does it go? Nobody knows. So to outright say that that's not true, but we don't know, that's not being open-minded. So I really like your approach.
Good for you. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. So this is the bumper cars I was telling you about. You don't want to get
So you zoomed in here.
I zoomed in. You can see that. You can see I zoomed in, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the weird things you find in Chernobyl, right? Like some sort of missile, right? And some sort of thing that says, this is that area, it says, don't come here. I was like, what does that say? Well, if you go there, you'll die. I was like, what do you mean you'll die? He said, you won't get far because radiation goes upwards. And so they had a lot of these rods or whatever that was melting. They just put out in the field and were buried it for, they were in emergency mode, didn't know what to do with this stuff. So, yeah.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
So they piled stuff and then had a guy stick a sign in the ground and then run away. And
I mean, no, I don't think these people were educated. They just knew they do what they told. This was Russia, USSR back in the day. It wasn't, modern day.
Yeah, they're not caring about their people. They're going to sacrifice them to get the job done.
Yeah, for those not familiar, it happened in 1986.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah. So here we are again. Don't be there if you want to be there. So again, it's on and on of this stuff. It's, this is this is where we went ghost hunting. Imagine, it's like, you can just, a lot of times when you ghost hunting, you know the story. So you're like, and I'm filming, I'm like, oh, come on, I want to see a ghost so bad. Just walk through that hallway. It's like, because it's lit so good, or you're like, come on, the moonlight's going right through. Let me see this, like a skeleton entity or something. And it doesn't come, of course, because it's not like that. But the best part of ghost hunting is the people you're with, and how you communicate, and what do you see? And I felt something. Let's go over there. Once you kind of do a lot of that, things are just happening. And then most of the time with me, it starts to pop really like gnarly, and I'm like, all right, it's on. I'm just more about, I got some footage. Oh, that was sick. And I'm thinking in my head, I was like, because it's like skate film again. It's like, good. How many tricks do I need to get a segment? So it was like that.
Did you guys have any other type of equipment with you to try to help detect things, or was it just your filming and then your sight and sound?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. No need to do much ghost hunting stuff. Look at this place. I mean, besides.
Wow. So in the last few pictures, it looked like schoolhouse, library. So was this just a big school building or like a high school that you were in?
It's just different building. Yeah, I could see. It looks like the gym, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's amazing how quickly just stuff goes deteriorating.
Yeah.
If anything, looks like you'll die of asbestos here. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, right.
It's bad, but
it's radioactive asbestos, like the worst kind.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say this is what's the most dangerous place for sure. Like right here, like in this room here. It's like right. Yeah. I mean, it looks bad. It looks like, okay, here's a funny one. This is us getting through a thing. And you talked about, payola. Look at Josh. He's like, how about my, here's my license. And he's like, and take a look at this, So we're getting through, and he's the best at it. Josh is the best. He's, by the way, the director, the executive producer. He's on Talent. It's his show. We're in lockstep with him, because it's his show, and really it's his show. It's his, and he is a very it's his show, and you want it that way, because a lot of times there's just so many bosses. Who do I listen to? It's like, no, you listen to Josh, and that's that, because you don't have to go anywhere else. And
what channel was this on back in the day? What, just
Syfy?
Syfy.
No, it's Syfy. Yeah,
and you can't find it anywhere now. It's not.
Maybe it's on Roku or something. Maybe if you can.
I'll search around. If I find it, I'll put a link to it, because people probably want to watch this now.
Oh yeah, I mean, this was on Travel Channel a lot. They ran it to hell, and then at the same time, Josh was starting his with Travel Channel, and so it's like the Josh Gates Network, But these fans here are really paranormal fans are very loyal. And they'll come with you. I have a fan page. I didn't make it myself because I'm this, and they're so nice and they're so awesome. They're good folks. Ghost hunting folks are good folks. And they just want to, I think they all have a story about someone passing and speaking to them. So and so do I, so we all have something common, which is trying to maybe talk to, or reach out to some folks that maybe the one more time,
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to go forward. Okay. So wait, so hold on. So this is a frog someone got. I was like, you're crazy. Don't show me that. Don't even touch that thing yet. I mean, so here's us drinking something, right? So this is the scene. There are people that live there still. These old folks never left.
They still live there, like in the town.
Stubborn.
Wow.
Either like they have nowhere to go. You can't take me. Right. They don't understand. They're like, no. And they're like, that's that. So when we first walked in, it was this spigot of water, this like a spring, like where they get water, and it was dripping. I said, Josh, because we found out about these people, and we're going to talk to them. Right. That's interesting. TV, right? So we get there, and there's this water coming out, and I said, Josh, how much? He goes, not in a million years would I take a sip of that. So then we come in, and this guy, hospitality is you have to break bread with these folks to talk to them, and that's the same in every country from Siberia to Mongolia. You know, the big chief, you bring alcohol or you bust it out. It's usually Jack Daniels they like, but he had moonshine that he made from the local fair, you know, the wheat or whatever. And look at Josh's face. So we had to drink this. And it is, see how many there are. That means we're all drinking. This is 10 a.m. in the morning. So then we had a couple of shots, and here we are. That's me and the sound man. We're raccooning out. Because we're hungry always, and we're just grabbing stuff and eat and oh, this is good, and we got super drunk, and then everything was like Chernobyl. We're running around, ridiculous. So you know, there we are. It's like
the family photo.
Yeah, I'm good like
In
that.
So do you ever stay in contact with any of these people that you've met through your adventures?
Not, and like my crew, of course. We're all best
I'm
friends.
talking about like those families or the people that you meet. No,
never. No, some of the experts eventually we stay like they know me on Facebook and stuff, but not really. You got to understand. It's like I get on a plane. I like to not know what I'm doing unless I would know. But I get on a plane. I get like a packet. It's like ding 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 ding. I was like, what am I doing? Like, and it flips open and it's like, oh, we're gonna do lost cities of this, and then we're gonna fly to Egypt, and we're gonna uncover a tomb with Hassan Zawawi, and then we're gonna all this like. But that's not just once. And we're talking 10 years, 200 days a year. I'm on the road, and it's just nonstop ridiculousness where like you flip through my phone and you just be like, let's spin a globe and stop it and be like, oh, remember the time when, we went hot air ballooning and with the Falcon in Dubai, or we went dove Omaha Beach, and the U-boats, and we dug, we found those coins. So the show is about mystery, and it's Discovery Channel. So not this one, but the one after. Just a lot of doors fly open, because we're doing it's a really established show.
Sure.
And they got some money to throw around, so that helps.
Yeah, I know exactly what that's like. Yeah, that's what happens to me when I travel too.
Yes.
I wish.
and now I stay home. I don't care. I don't need to do anything in my life anymore, which I do, but I don't need to go anywhere because I did all that, but I'm with, my fiance or something like, yeah, we can go. Where do you want to go? Like Italy? Like, yeah. But I hope she doesn't hear that. So look at this. So this is the radiation suit we're wearing. It's nice and tight, but you see how sweaty it's in there. It got like, like 6-7 hours. You're hot, you're cold, things are fogging up. You can't really see anything. There's these shadow entities and all this. Like,
is this a picture of you, or is this your other camera guy?
No, that's actually Gabe, the other camera guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. His eyes look very wide, like he's terrified.
Yeah. And see, and here we go. That camera he's using, is this a flip out Sony camera? I still use that camera. Ghost hunting, it goes, it has a night vision, it goes green. And when it's an IR light on it, and it's just, it's what we do. It's like, when Blair Witch came out.
Yeah.
That's the look, and that everyone associates with ghost hunting, and it still is. Mm-hmm. It's just something about it. It's not, you can see just that much, or the shadows, and
I'll give you a viewer's perspective. You know why I like it like that? Because I think everyone's aware of what you can do in Hollywood with videos. And when it's shot like that, it feels raw. And what you want is raw, because if you're saying I saw a ghost, or you're seeing a video of a ghost, you don't want it to be edited, because you could just be like, oh, that's edited in there. I want to feel like I saw it raw.
Yeah, and we don't mess around. We don't need to. I'm telling you, sometimes we go on investigations, we don't find anything. That's fine. But this is every night. Well, that night we peeled our clothes off and and took and this is like this is like our clothes, like that'll stay there. I'm not touching it, and look how dirty it is. This is gross. I mean, yeah. And
so you just shower them off, and did you like every day new outfit and you just left it and you're like, all right, I'm done with that outfit? Or
there was a 1 day thing and a one night. It was day and a night. So this looks like the next day when we just kind of peeled our clothing off and just left it there. So this is me, and this is like my setup. I had these bags on my feet. I had tape wrapped up my, every little orifice is just. And that lens I'm holding, the little lens, it's called an astroscope. It's a military grade night vision camera that even now is super expensive to buy. Used, it's hard to find. So it uses like some sort of it's like phosphorus maybe, or something in there that ignites. It just shows in the dark, and that's like, yeah, really.
It looks like you're holding a proton pack from Ghostbusters.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
And on the mic, that's a condom. And that's what we do on that. We put a condom over the mic so it doesn't, that's what protects it from whatever. So that's pretty funny.
So like you can hear through it, but it protects it. So like the mesh of or is it, you get rid of the mesh part, or that's just what you had?
No, that's what sound guys do. They put it over the raccoon, like the fuzzy part. And I got, it looks like I have audio coming into my backpack. So those are 2 channels of audio, and looks like we have a pack in the back and it's just rolling. Nowadays we have, different kind of setups, but you just hope you're getting audio, in this case, usually I have earbuds in. This is us getting ready, gearing up, suited and booted. It wasn't like funny. It was like heavy breathing because, you get claustrophobic in that thing, and then you got to calm down, and then you got to do a lot. This is us getting ready. I was with a great team, Jael. Our crew is, we're just having fun around. We're eating good. We're having fun. The shittier, the better. It's like we embrace the suck,
Sure.
Yeah. Then there we are. See that the yellow thing? That's the dosimeter, and that's what and so that's what we know, and that's me about to get on with it. Of course, that look in my eye, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in Chernobyl. No way, like, dude.
That is really cool. How many?
Cool.
Like, there's not a lot of people who get to go there.
Well, go there, but also go ghost hunting. I mean, as a ghost hunter, like paranormal investigator, like this is like because they're pretty safe, the folks.
It's like it's like the mecca of ghost hunting.
Well, I don't think anyone would do it because usually ghost hunters are they're like rational, well, they're not like Craig, they're not like Gonzo.
They're not like go to the radioactive death zone to ghost hunt. Let's just go to the local graveyard or something.
Right. This is before Vice TV, right?
Yeah.
So they would do that. This is my classic. This is like on my. It's gonna be the front cover of my book when I write it. Just me, just a moment in time where I looked up and he took a flash, and this is at nighttime doing a sweep. Filming, and you see the second camera I have slung over.
Yeah,
that's just like I would be in the military. You need a second, a pistol. At this, you have to. If that thing goes down, you got something to shoot.
Okay, so that's your backup. Yeah. If your main camera goes down, you can use that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it does. Hey, if anyone who knows, and that's the thing. Like for me, paranormal investigating is for me. I don't walk into rooms and say I feel something. It's about me getting it on camera, and I stay in my lane. It happens enough to me, and I'm just trying to get it on tape because I want to show people like this is real, maybe, Mm-hmm. So there's my setup, and you see that little camera like on my near my belly. That's the one I took all these photos, the photos with.
Okay.
So it's just, and I was the only one doing it, and sometimes Josh gets mad. He's like, "Stone, you doing your own show again?" And I'm doing like stand-ups now. I'm now I got my phone, and I'm just like, right now and he's like, he loves it though. He really enjoys He's behind me on my creative endeavors, and I'm the only cameraman he knows or adventure filmmaker that actually does something other than wait for the job. I'm always doing my own thing and kind of creating my own destiny. So that's it. That's hello.
So, one thing I want to, and what was your favorite moment or part of Chernobyl?
So, yeah, well, let's get into the ghost hunting part of it, right?
Yes.
So, night falls, and there was a courtyard there that a lot of people got buried there, like in the moment type of thing. And so that had a really it's really heavy, I mean, it was dark, it was moonlight, it was cold, and we were going in and out of these buildings. It was really, and then these shadow creatures, what they do is they're in your peripheral, and when you look, you see them kind of go up the wall, and out, and it's like, okay, let's go in there. So you kind of want to,
So you're seeing shadow creatures, and you're trying to follow them.
Well, yeah,
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, sounds like not very rational.
Dumb, right? I know.
So
Well,
I have a question about that, just based on what you said. So you said you'd catch them in your periphery, and then would you turn and you would actually face on see them, or are they always kind of off to the side?
Right, they're always off, but you do see them. But to get them on, now there's much more better equipment to do, but they're. Look, they're part of you and your psyche, so everyone has them. And maybe when they're always there, and you have to be in a place that you want to see them or accept that could be real. Otherwise, you won't see anything. There's so much stuff, if you believe in this, it's right in front of you. And, I don't know if you ever had anyone pass away, but when they do, right afterwards, there's so many signs. And once you get hip to it, it's like, wow. And then you don't want to tell anyone because they think you're, something's wrong. Oh, okay, you're hearing voices. But it's real. And, I don't want to go too deep in that, but that's why that's why people do it. That's why it's so interesting. Because normal people are like, oh, come on, I don't believe in that. Well, my personal story is I had someone very close to me pass away, and they, right afterwards, two separate people, one of them was a lawyer, came to me and said the same thing, talked about how she feels. And these are people that would not play a cruel joke like that. That's really messed up.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, wait, what? And then another person said, hey, is a friend of a friend, I at the funeral, I know, someone that she's speaking to me. And I was like, oh my God. And so I always thought I always knew that something's different. There's like you said, the energy. So my goal is, my why is trying to chase that and try to connect again.
Yeah. Was there any point in your ghost hunting here at Chernobyl where you actually were kind of it spooked you to the point where you're like, I got to get out of this space right now and regroup?
Yeah, there was a corridor, and I was just with one other person. We're doing a sweep, and we heard a bang, and I looked over, and then there was something on the other side, and then I was like, oh man, because there's wolves there. There's packs of wolves.
Yeah.
I've heard about those.
Yeah, there's animals there that are now freestyle. They're like this. Now they're finding out that they're immune to radioactivity.
Terrible.
Like mutant zombie wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, these wolves are just like here in Huntington Beach. It's coyotes. They'll take your dog right out of your hands. Yeah, so that was strange, and because I'm also into cryptids, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm into Dogman and different kind of things creatures that come about. So that's always in the mix too, right? So, and this is it would be again, I'm a comic book guy. I just love grew up on
Yeah.
comics. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking like a kind of a zombie-ish kind of creature with the skin hanging off, and it's like super mad at me for coming on its territory. I don't know. But no, I got scared of that. And also, I was mostly scared of not getting any air or anything in my suit.
Yeah.
You know, and after a while, the guy that was with us who told us yes or no, he was gone. So we're just cruising around. And that happens, you know, and then it's, yeah. So
he left and you were wandering around completely on your own, just trusting your Geiger counter, your device to make sure you weren't going in bad spots.
Well, remember, I have a camera, so I'm filming always, obviously someone. It would be Jael or Josh, or a writer if it was her. You know, it's different people that I'm filming. I don't have a camera, only camera on me if something happens, but I usually, you know.
How many hours of footage did you have once you left?
I mean, we just shoot so much and just I don't even know. Now I'm an editor too, and I couldn't imagine syncing these cameras up with each other. And you know, you'd have to. Now it's digital. You throw it down, you put it in a pluralizer or some program. Dink, you know, just snaps together. But
did they let you keep the footage you shot, or you have to turn it in?
Of course, that's ridiculous. And you know, it's so funny. It's like nowadays, content is a thing, right? And what I've done my whole life, it was special, right? And now everyone's into it, and it's really cool. I think that everyone does what I love, and I think it's so like, I think it's awesome that everyone's, you know, getting content out there, and I think it's really cool what's happening. I think Hollywood's shaking in their boots.
Sure they are.
I mean, a lot of networks that people are. I'm getting a lot of calls from people looking for work for me, like if I have any backup work or anything like that. And I'm always busy because I'm very good at networking, and also I'm an editor. I'm a really good editor, so I can kind of lean on that. And also I shoot and produce, so I can do I can do what a content provider does. I can go and shoot, but on a premium level. But yeah, when you think about it, where's all that footage, right? It could be so good, much content. It all boils down to a half-hour show. It's ridiculous. It goes somewhere in some vault and no one even cares about it. Meanwhile, nowadays, that would be like every bit of that would get dished up and diced up. And
you should try to like contact someone from the network, see if they would sell you the footage back or something so you can own it.
They do they license out the cut piece, but who knows what happens to that?
It's got to be somewhere. I mean, if it's physical media, they must have it in some vault.
You'd like to think, right?
Hopefully someone didn't just throw it out, some intern or...
I know. I mean, it's tough. It's so long ago.
That'd be so cool just to watch it from end to end, just like the footage.
Right. Oh, that's funny. That's a good segue into what I'm doing now. Actually, I'm back in the game. You know, because after look, I'm mostly known for getting thrown back by a ghost in the Halibutu forest in Romania. That's a whole nother show. That is my first week on the job, and we were doing something called isolation, where different people go into this. It was this perfect circle that nothing grows. Is in Romania. It's really mystical, and radio are you know, like meters are going weird. It was a strange place, and I got kind of, I don't remember too much what happened, but I got kind of blown back, and they found me in the woods with these cut marks, and I was out of it, and I came to, and I was kind of like, what the fuck? What kind of job is this? What's happening, right? And that's when I found out that it comes to me. I don't see it. It's just other people say, oh, we want you around. We want you to say things, and because I have a good aura about it, and it's not always bad. But people that I get a lot of reactions. So I became I didn't even know it because it wasn't social media back then. I went on after the show, my life. And with all of these adventures, I went on, Josh and I started Expedition Unknown. Well, it turns out like when Josh has these public speakings, you know, he does this tour. If I'm in the crowd, I get a standing ovation. You know, it's like, Evan, and they all want next up question. It's like, this one's for Evan. What happened at the forest, or, you know, on all this? And they're really nice folks. So I decided now, because I'm seeing how how things are going. I mean, obviously, everyone's on their phones, right? No one's watching TV anymore, and that's been happening a while. But now it's like the Nielsen ratings and all that is a hoax. You know, now the streamers know the numbers, and exactly the demographic. And you know, a lot of people are making money. They don't even care about being on a TV show. They're making their money on subscription-based programming, and that's what I'm getting into now. Which is, I have my own ghost show, and it's on YouTube. We're just starting it. And we're doing a live element. You want to get me back on camera?
Nope.
Am I on camera? Okay.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I am. I thought I'm still.
No, it's like a split screen, so I'll pull this one off though. Yeah, there we go.
It's better off I don't see myself.
There you go. Yeah,
no, this is a perfect segue to the SVC. So tell us more about what you're working on.
You want
now.
us to play your demo reel first?
Yeah, let's do it, and I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, here, Joe's pulling up. But
I'm trying to pull this up. So keep talking while I'm figuring this all out.
So I have a fan club now, and they're so nice. They're flattering. They tell me things that and I'm one day I was just looking and I was like, gosh, I should just be what they want me to be, what they think I am, which it is. But it's the best version, you know. And I said, I want to do this. I want to get back in the game. I know I've done hundreds of investigations. I know how to make it a show. I know how to make a TV show. So yeah, let's take a look. It's called SVC Explorers of the Unknown with Jack Vaisey and Evan B. Stone. Jack Vaisey is a TikTok live star, and I connected with him as a storyteller, Hollywood storyteller, and we collaborated, and we have a new thing, and it's exciting a new way to tell stories because it has a live element. The last act is live. Let's take a look.
Cool. All right.
What's up? That's what's up. That's what's up.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so basically we do the whole show with just Jack and I. All right. So, and he's not a filmmaker, he's a live TikTok guy. Well, and I think I was on social media and I was checking out this new thing called live ghost hunting, which I used to do with Josh Gates. We used to do a Halloween show with the ghost hunter guys, and we'd go live. It'd be cameras all day. We'd be stringing up, you know, the wires to the place, and then, you know, it's time. You know, Josh would have this like, welcome, he'd tell a story, and then inside we would throw to Jason and Hans. They're inside doing their thing, and it was always the highest rated show. And I always thought, man, this is so cool. Live ghost hunting at the time, I was like, well, you need a truck, you know, you need a satellite, and that's what they had, of course. And now things are way different. So what Jack does is he goes on ghost hunts with his phone. He's on TikTok live, and this is the thing. And he had about 200,000 followers at the time, and he gets like 10,000 people at a time, and they're with him on the ghost hunt. So it's interactive. It's not passive like TV. They're asking, "Oh, what's over there? I heard something." Hey,
that's
Jack,
cool. That's really cool.
He's like an MC, right? He's flagging, and he's kind of solo too. And where he lives in Oxbow, New York, it's up near the Canadian border. It's an hour and a half from Syracuse. In other ways, the Great Lakes. It's in the middle of nowhere, and they call it the Northwoods, and it is steeped in history. The War of 1812, the French Indian War, the Civil War. This is 1800s. It's a tough place, and is beasts and is cryptids all in there. Is ghosts of the Civil War. I mean, these battlefields. I mean, it's the land that time forgot, really. And you go there and its buildings. It's really it's cursed. So our story is based around. So basically, that's where he lives, but we did a town a little bit away from him called Oxbow, and there's a story of a lady in white on a bridge, and that's how it started. But in the town itself, there's a lot of history. Caroline Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte's niece, lived there, and I didn't know this, but we go to her grave, and it is just. It's dilapidated. It's listing. It's in this town called Oxbow, which is just. When I say it's, I don't want to say poor because it's nice. It's not like ghetto poor. It's just run down. It's just there's no commerce there. Like it got burned 3 times. It's left alone. It's like a cursed town. And the rivers go. This river goes through it, the Ashwagazi River, and it's very steeped in Native American folklore, and also. So what we find out is we're uncovering history, one ghost story at a time. That's kind of our tagline, because first of all, I love history, but you only hear the history that that's written. What you find when you put boots on the ground is something different. You hear these stories and these people that never get heard, and one of them is Caroline Bonaparte. She turns out she was the lady in white on the bridge, and what she was kind of a hero in a way. She was a big part at the areas right at the border of Canada to help the Underground Railway, and she had a basement and she'd keep people, and she'd add tunnels, and she did all this, and I kind of think she wanted to be not known, because she wanted to be undercover at the time, and it worked. It wasn't like, look at me, because then, what happens there, you get, it's a big penalty for doing that. And I think everyone who's helping the Underground Railway at the time was really risking their lives. And up in this part of New York and this whole north part, a lot of people were helping. And when you think about it today, it's a big sacrifice, right? Sure. Your whole family and everything. So the good folks up there that were, and there were these bounty hunters that would go after these, all the way up to Canada. It was every step of the way. So there's a lot of, so this town, so she's the lady in white still in the afterlife, helping, ushering people. I gotta chill, because it's so awesome. When we found that out, it wasn't something we knew. We found that out through our investigations, through our ghost hunting. So now the missing pieces in history we're finding on with the paranormal, and we bring trigger objects. So now it comes to our live thing. So this is just genius. I just love this. I'm so passionate about telling stories, and now for me as a filmmaker, like, I want to make a mark. Maybe this is it, where the third act of the story, the cliffhanger, is live. Okay. So now we find out it's Caroline Bonaparte, the lady on the bridge, who floats. Why is there lights in the river? All these things came to pair because she's ushering the boats, and there's those signals they would do with these lamps. So she, now we know her name. Now we have something, we brought a little item of hers. Now we have a trigger object. These are things, if you're paranormal investigators, you say the name. Just like ancient Egypt, the pharaohs, that's why they chisel their names out. And when they don't like them, because you say their name, they live. So we went back to the bridge, we went live, and we said her name, and wow, it's just, and everyone's there. Everyone's invested in the story now. So now we go live, and everyone's like, here we go. We're coming home for this, because this is an event.
Yeah, that's really neat that you are live streaming as you're doing it. You're not, that even takes it a step further. You mentioned before, it's kind of like the Blair Witch or that style of shooting. You've just taken it to the next level by, you're not only shooting like that, but it's live so people know.
That's like
you're
the
not
evolution of, I was just curious, because you've been filmmaking for a while now. Back when you started, did you ever imagine it would get to the point where you could go out ghost hunting live and interact with your fans while you're filming your episode?
Well, and it goes further than that, because I'm staying again in my lane. I'm a tech guy now. I always have been, and it's all about getting it on camera, right?
Yeah.
So now a lot of these places we go don't have cell service, so we have a Starlink system, and we hook it up with this switcher kind of thing. It's called the One, and it's a backpack system that we have that is pretty cutting edge stuff. You don't need a truck anymore. You don't need all this. You just have
Just a backpack. It's crazy.
Backpack hooked into a laptop, and then in the laptop you can, like you guys are doing, you're switching.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's just Jack and I, and we're in our second season. So we shoot everything on flip outs or our phones. We use DJI mics that record themselves. We're it's a lot of tape and stuff, but I leverage technology to everything. Help me look into the shadows. I take photos. I use AI programs to open up the shadows. I use AI to help me with editing, going through the dailies, transcribing it, and I bring it in. I got this whole system, this workflow that is, when I started doing it, I just cried. I was like, oh my God, this is, because I'm just me, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what all this stuff is coming out for these content creators that are not, they're not a big production company. They don't have a whole row of editors waiting. It's just them. So how do you do it, right? So anyhow, so I have a lot of techniques on how I do it. It's all pretty stuff that's out there now.
Yeah.
It's using AI technology to look into the footage. I got a program that just I type in what I want, and it knows my dailies somehow, and I want forests and all the dark forests come up, and that's cool. I have one. I transcribe it through Premiere right away. There's something called text to edit. It's just oh God, it's so good. You put the more people. It used to be when people talk in an interview, you're like, oh my God, I got to go through this footage. Now it's like, no, talk more, because the more you talk, the more I'll have any story. I could tell your story, and then I take the transcription and I give it to ChatGPT, and I say, make a list of what these topics are, and I say, now give me a list and now describe verbatim what they're talking about. And then I say put that in an order that and I that's where I come in. It's like an assistant editor, and I say I give it the order, and then I take and I say now write the script, write verbatim what people are talking about. And so after I approve it, I take that back into Premiere with text to edit, and it snaps right into place. Boom, the whole timeline. Of course, that's when I come in and I finesse, and that's all. That's what editing is, right? It's not put. I don't like a producer giving me a bunch of tapes. I was like, yo, you take this, get the sound bites, put them in order, and I'll cut it. And now I do that, but I labor over like, is that soundbite better than that one? And I'm like, I just like, and I hate editing, so I just drag my ass on it. So now I'm like just banging stuff out, and it's really good. It's not doing anything. It's not like making stuff up, but I do these monster. So I'm just all in it, dude. I do these monster. We do these monster packages, and I use text to image, and I use Firefly, again, an Adobe product, and then I make it move. I know how to make it move now, and I had to widen it out. And it's telling story. It's telling stories. So I don't have an animator, and I don't have all these things. So that's what these tools are there for telling stories.
Well, what's beautiful about that is, and you kind of alluded to it, is you can look at it one of two ways. One of the ways is, it's going to ruin something. I look at it the other way of, you just described your passion and how these tools are allowing you to focus more on what your passion is and eliminating the wasted time of the nuance of I got to listen to every word and then do this manual stuff. No, you want to get to the thing that you want to present to your audience.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that you get to do that. It's so cool that everyone has access to that now. And before it was this big,
we're kind of in the golden age of people. Anybody on the planet can pick their phone up and create really cool content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
I say everyone has a car, but are they race car drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So and it's great. But I think the people that are doing well, the social media folks that are doing well, are really honest. These words, you hear them, authentic, honest, and they are. I mean, I worked just recently with this guy, the real Tarzan. You know him? He's on YouTube.
Yes, I've seen this guy.
He's such a good guy, and he's so genuine. And I said, do you don't have any? He says, I don't have any like a degree, but I'm an expert. Because how many hours you need to handle these stuff before you're an expert? And he's a conservationist and an animalist, he calls himself. But it's really cool, and I love it. And the entrepreneurial thing turns me on too. It's like I'm a gig worker most of my life, but I create as well. And now I'm at a point where I don't want to chase it. A check. I want to do my own thing, like a lot of people. I want to pivot and use what I'm good at to learn and teach and teach people, get curriculums, and it's all about for me. So this is a perfect timing for me. I'm telling stories, and now am I doing it for free? Yeah, right now I'm putting on my own money, but it's going to be a subscription-based thing where so on the fourth act or third act when I go live, it'll be for about 3-4 hours, and then we subscribers only for 5-6 hours. And it's a lot of value to that. They're going to get a lot of stuff from it. And so these niche, it's what's happening right now. Whoever's listening is probably already in it, and they don't even realize it. Like I follow, my feed is all tech, AI, and helping editing. I'm saving stuff. And then these social media influencers that I really believe they're authentic and all that. And they're teaching me like, and I'm like, when are they going to do it? And then finally they say, well, I got a package, a LUT package or a transition package I'm selling. And I'm like, hell yeah. And what they want is your email, right? And so they give away free stuff to get your email because they want you off platform, right? And so just TikTok or something goes away, you're screwed. And now, so I think that business model is really cool. And it's really, again, taking TV on its and democratizing it. And it's really cool. And I'm totally in. For me, how do I get in? Well, I am pretty popular in the paranormal space. Yeah. So when I met Jack, I was on one of his hunts, helping him with AI. Because what I do is I take photos in the moment, I fix them, I send them back, and it's like, oh my god, it's like demons, like it's like nuts. it's ridiculous with the AI stuff I find, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff on a lot of UFO stuff. I can really. Well, you can clean up a picture, zoom in, clean up again. All of a sudden, it's like, what is that? Yeah. It's really interesting. And we have some great evidence. So when I went there, Jack, and I said, I'm going to come. And he's a big fan of mine. He's like, oh, what? Evan B. Stone's going to come to my little. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, you're awesome. I love you. And he's like, wow, which is cool. But I thought he was cool. So I get there and the second day we went live and he just went, you know what? He changed his TikTok to our thing. Now I have 220. Jack Vaisey and I are partners, and now I'm running. Now I got momentum. I got 220,000 followers on TikTok, a different kind of followers. And now I'm like, okay, now we need to ramp up everything else, which we're doing. We shot a whole season. Now we got season 2 in the can, and I can shoot a whole season in a week. And now it's nonstop. We get into a car, GoPros are on, we're talking. Me and him are just talking about concepts and where are we going next. And if we just got away from something, what are we talking about? And I know in my head, I'm going to cut to some footage. And then when we get there, it's on, right? We go ghost hunting, not live, but we just banking content. And the stuff we get, when you slip into a place like that's a cemetery in the middle of nowhere that no one's ever gone ghost hunting, and you go in there and you start doing your thing, which is like, pretty much like a seance. I mean, like you're pulling out all this gear, and it's like, the EVPs and the spirit box, and which are like really cool. I mean, This is machine that randomly takes. I don't know if you know about it. It spins through radio stations and it just randomly, and supposedly the spirits can control the words come out of it, and you ask it questions. Well, I mean, it's stuff that saying our names, things like that, and over here, and then we go there, and we firmly believe that everything that we do on the shoot is led for a reason to something else. And that's cool, because now again, you suspend belief. You go there, you drink the Kool-Aid, you say, okay. And then you go start looking around, and then stuff starts being like, oh, wait, this name is the same one that we heard upstairs when we did, the granddaughter's, she, and I was like, wait, and then you turn over the grave, and it's like all this stuff. It's bananas. And I hope it's successful for a lot of reasons.
I can feel your passion behind it, so I think it's gonna be.
I mean, it sounds like you've got your followers, your following's getting huge on TikTok, which I mean, it's weird to say, 20 years ago, it was Syfy channel, travel channel. Now it's TikTok, it's YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The different crowds. TikTok are very young and they're
short attention span.
Yeah, but hey, when I go to Hollywood and I say, hey, I'm making a sizzle reel now, I'm like, I got it, let's do this.
Yeah.
They look at that, and it's like, they look at those numbers. You're bona fide.
Yeah, you have fans already. You have people that will tune in to that show.
Yeah. And there are people doing it. There are these really, really awesome kids, Kalani, and I forgot the other guy's name, but they're a team, and they're out there and they're doing it, and they're commanding a big crowd, and they're making buku bucks it's a subscription. Someone puts in $4, you have 10,000 people, that's 40,000 a month. Right. And I'm going to be when that happens, I'm going to be like, oh cool, I can get Josh Gates now. I'm going to pay him to come. I'm going to get Chip Coffee. I'm going to get,
you could pay to get Mike and Joe to come.
Yeah. $10 cheap.
I'm gonna put it back. We're gonna put it back on the screen, and we're gonna get the best equipment. We're gonna get LiDAR, subsonar scanners. We're gonna show. I want to see. What is it? What was that entity? Let's really break it down. We're trying to be scientific, because if it's scientific, if it happens more than once, if we can do it, maybe it is real, right? So that's our deal. Yeah.
We got to get you to come to Milwaukee. I know I've told you about the hospital building that I work out of. It's from the early 1900s, and a lot of death. There's a room. It's the old incinerator where they used to burn body parts and stuff in there. There's a lot of history there that
we'll try to do
some
research maybe, and try to find some areas too out, not just the hospital, so you could come out to the Midwest and film.
Why don't we do a live thing there? Why don't we?
We could 100% do a live thing there.
Because I'm in Huntington and he's there, and I go there. I'm command live sessions from here. So I'm like, hey, Jack, here we go. We get into it. So it's really just like you guys are doing, but I have a camera in my hand, a phone, and I'm streaming to StreamYard if it's good signal, and I'm out there doing it. So we should do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll try to find. There's got to be other haunted areas.
There's tons of stuff.
The Wisconsin area.
The Ambassador Hotel is one of the most haunted hotels in the Midwest.
No, Pfister.
The Pfister is too. Yeah.
So I used to work for a company that managed that hotel, and a lot of the pro sports teams that come to Milwaukee stay at that hotel, and they'll actually have athletes that refuse to stay in it because they've stayed there once and had a paranormal experience, and they refuse to stay in that hotel again.
I mean, it's hard. It's so many things that happen that stuff flies off a wall, or or a door shuts. And I mean, I've had so much stuff happen, especially with Jack. Jack and I have this we're like I said, we just slip out of the car all silent. We get into it, and it's ghosts are like, well, no one's come here and said our name. Hi, I'm Bartholomew, whatever.
Yeah.
Some old school name, but it's entities are there's a few kinds. One is, unfinished business. Someone who didn't know they dead. They just got hit. They're still doing their thing. Residual. It's called a residual.
Yeah. Can you go through some, this is always fascinating me. I used to watch a show. It was two brothers. Do you know the show I'm talking about? It was years ago. They went around. I wish I could remember the show now. But they had terminology for the different kinds of ghosts they would encounter.
Yeah.
So, in your world of ghost hunting, what are the
Was it called Ghost Brothers?
No, I'll find the name of the show. It was a drama. It wasn't real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well is a residual ghost hunt. That's like if your grandpa walked down the hallway for his whole life, he'd still be doing that. It's an energy that, or there's his knife or watch. It's on there. He keeps flipping it, so you might hear it flip still. It's kind of like they don't know. It's just more of it's like a rewind of a tape. They don't know it's happening. It's a kind of, they're not, aware. It's not even maybe an entity and such, where it's just an energy force. And then there's one that does know it's there, and it's kind of in limbo. Like it has unfinished business, so it's like, I got to take care of my kids, or wait, I can't die, so that energy is still there. Or if they got a bone to pick, like the Lady in White, it's a story that's all over the world, is a lady in white who floats, same story. And it turns out it's a woman who's scorned big time. And it's like, and hey, that like, if you hate someone that much, it could, that's the energy, right?
Sure.
So it's also a cautionary tale, like, hey, don't
nice.
Don't mess around. Yeah. Be nice. Right. And, but there's also, the kind that's a poltergeist, which is a violent, and they'll actually physically touch you. And those are rare, but they happen. And that's an exorcist, Yep. She climbs up upside down on the wall, and that shit's real. Like, if you know anyone religious, like my fiance, she went to Christian camp, and there was a girl there that got possessed, and she spoke underneath her speaking language. They had to do a bunch of stuff. This happens all the time. And we did an afterlife piece with Expedition Unknown, and we were doing with someone really who had issues, and they were getting, we had a priest there, and I just remember the person just rolled their eyes back, and all of a sudden, it was a different person. And I was like, well, mental illness, maybe, we can always say it's something. But it's a lot of, every religion, everyone has the devil and and these forces of evil,
sure.
That are trying to get in when you're weakest. And that's the thing, and you don't have to believe in anything to know that, that happens. You're weak. You have a moment, or you're just open to, that, and things come in. So you got to protect yourself. When we go to these places, I've learned from Jack, you show up, you ask permission. When you leave, you never take anything. There's rules. And, people who go in there and just start being disrespectful. I mean, let's face it, it's the dead. I mean, graves. I mean, when you really think about it, it is super fun, but it's kind of gnarly to think that, that you have to be respectful, and we are.
Sure. No, I can tell. I mean, it's you're not going through there and causing a ruckus for views. You can tell that you are genuinely curious about the stories, about the history. Yeah, I really like that idea of it too, like uncovering the history behind it as well as the stories, and I think it helps people understand what that energy is.
I'm a firm believer. You could, like, even the most hardest non-believers, if you took them along on one of your ghost hunts and they witnessed it, I think they'd be a believer.
We're a big,
that's what they're doing with the live.
Yeah.
Take them along.
Yeah.
And we don't have to, it's no fakery here, because it doesn't have to be that way, because like I said, we're not going to like the hotel, it's haunted. We're like slipping into like the bridge that, that two people hung themselves on. And then earlier on, it was that was a different kind of bridge. And it was when the slaves went through, and then before that, it was the American Indians, and we took their land, so they cursed us. So there's a lot. Once you get by the layers of history, everywhere there's people have died. Everywhere it's not what your home now. It's always been something else, ancient, and so it's also just super fun to be. My head's, like I said, I'm a comic book guy. I'm just like the bridge, we're looking at the bridge. I said, you know what? I said, in the second episode, I said, you know what? That bridge is a portal to the other side. I just felt, and I was like, let's just go Marvel or DC, whatever you're into, and just claim it. Because, and then we looked at it like, yeah, and then all these things. What we didn't know is everywhere I go, I put a camera facing forward, my phone or whatever, while we're talking. I looked at that, reviewed the evidence, and I'm going to try to pull it up here. Full body apparition while we're talking, only we found afterwards. So let me try to find this evidence.
Definitely try and find that.
Oh, it's something else.
That's wild.
While you're looking for that, I think the reason why people love this kind of content too is because of just the nature of it. It's unexplainable. It's a lot of times you're on edge. Like you feel it, like something's not right. Like there's just so much mystery to it. Oh, here you go.
Hook me up.
Yeah, all right, throw that up there.
So this is that time at the bridge when I said, you know what, this, and then me and him just, you know how people do when they start just getting into it, they're like, another dimension and all this stuff. And then it's like, yeah. And it's like, it's fun, right? But here we are. And it's a perfect setting for a ghost story. And then when I looked at the footage afterwards, I was like, oh my God, look at this. So there's a bunch of things that's happened here. I'm just going to press play. See that? So you see, boom, you see that shadow going through? What's that? Okay. And this is our, afterwards we do like a review of everything that happened that night. And here, look, like, I didn't do that. All right. So now, okay, look on the right near that sign. Watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw that.
Okay, watch again. That's okay. That's someone walking. Okay.
Yeah,
and
that just flowed right through.
Wow.
And it was something we determined that maybe it's a dog. Shadow entity. This is what I'm talking about. These things right here will just, it's a nightmare fuel, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta, now I didn't do anything except open up the shadows in this. And check out this light. Watch. What's that? Okay.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. This outline right here.
Yeah. It was just like a something that's dark there. Nothing was, we're in the middle of nowhere. So we determined that's a flare. We determined that that's a refraction in the lens. We try to didn't say what is that, and then I knew that from back in the day. I said, oh, that happens sometimes. Yeah. So
that is
how about
interesting.
That full body aberration. I mean, now let me show you some other thing. Told you through some stuff here. I mean, so this thing here is like. I was like, what's that? And I got closer and I do my thing. And it's just like, it's like Casper. Like, what is that? And it's an entity. And then this thing, you can see it. You see it? It's like
looks like
it looks like a face. Right
it's like
eyes, mouth, chin,
demon. And then this thing we found out afterwards was watching us the whole time. And it was like you see it? It's like it's like
is there a head right here?
Yeah. Yes, it's like looking over at us the whole time, and we kind of think that was maybe Caroline in the scary version. It's all like Ghostbusters in the beginning, with the librarian.
In the library.
So part of the episode is our one of the lights was on in my bag. Just turned on, and I didn't put it there. And you zoomed in, it was like a little baby, like a toy, like thought it was a toy or something. And then in the shadows, I went deep into the shadows, and I see a face here. I see a guy with like glacial glasses and nose and a mustache and a guy. I see it. Jack doesn't seem to see it, but I see it. And I think it's one of those. Here's a good one. That's the same. So this is how I go to AI and I clean it up, and I don't do anything extra to it. I just bring out the shadows. Look at her. That's a
it's like looking up.
So this thing, this is the thing that scared me. It's like, why is it there? What is it doing? So there's some evidence.
Do you find your background in filmmaking helps you determine what is like an artifact in the film versus like this is real? I mean, your experience must be able to help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, but now you can open up the shadows and get rid of the grain, and you really get in there. Because a lot of these things, when light goes on, they're out. They're not there. They're because they're shadow. They're in the shadows. They live. I personally, it's another dimension. But I don't know. But what I do know is I want to get it on film, and I got all this cool tech, and more than ever, it's just Jack and I, and we're going live, and by the same time, we're telling ghost stories. We're talking to people.
What's your holy grail like that you want to capture, like either on film, like video or audio?
I got it. A full body apparition. I mean, that's just outrageous. That's the best evidence I've ever
maybe get slimed or something.
Oh, I already got messed with. I'm good.
That's true. You did. Yeah, you got. I mean, you've had that happen already.
Yeah. So I think that. I think that what we're seeing is once we get close to a story or a person that has a real good story, they start showing themselves and lead us places, and we find and discover things. And this place it's our Oak Island of paranormal. It has cryptids. It has their version of werewolves called Dogmen. It has Hoof Lady. These indigenous lore. These woods are real dark. They're called the Northwoods. They're Adirondack Mountains is millions of acres of just stuff. And in the Adirondack Mountains is all these, and around it are these towns that just look right from the 1800s. They're just the same, dilapidated, not fully, but people live in them. But they're really poor folks. Poor, not in a bad way. I don't know what to say. Don't have a lot of things. They're nice folks.
Simple life.
Well, there's no money. The economy. There's no jobs. I mean, it's a really depressing place, and it's a place that I see a lot of opportunity. I want to buy that old house. It's $50,000. It's nothing, and it's Carolyn Bonaparte's like a neighbor. Like there's all this cool stuff that we want to restore. We want to make enough money to restore that graveyard. And what we found out in an episode is that the graves were the stack, like the neighbor, the Amish, they pushed with a plow all these headstones and these graves up, so their land was more. I don't know what it was, but we found it at night, and we got chased out by a pack of wolves. Right, they were hybrid wolves, and what we heard was wolves, but there was something else there. And then after breaking it down, it was whoa. And then we have this. Can you get some audio? If
you can play audio on yours, it will.
I mean, if there is some EVP stuff that we have, that is what you do with an EVP is you record, and then you play it back, and you turn up the volume, and you turn down the hiss, and you just do all this stuff, and there's this whole other world there. Let me see if I can find it here. Barn.
Oh, well, he's looking. That show is called Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I've seen that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
I might not have it here, but I don't think I do. No. Anyhow,
Well, we're gonna have to do that on another episode then. Just more content to come back to.
What I'm curious. So, what are some future like? How do you scout for new locations, or do you just kind of roll with it?
No, we're staying in Oxbow. This is our Oak Island. There's nowhere else. It's a big mystery there. It's a cursed town. It's we know the Carolines are. We know these other things. It's just a tip of the iceberg. It's an Oxbow in a river is when it loops back on itself, and it's like a bow. It's like an oxbow, they call it. Okay. And this oxbow, the land around it and inside of it is where everything's happening. So we're kind of figuring out why, and it has to do with Native American magic and what their lore is, as well as what what's happened there, and Caroline Bonaparte and her part in it is just one thing that we're uncovering, and we also think it's something it is our Oak Island of paranormal. It's our honey hole. I know better. You stay somewhere when it's good, when you're filming. I've so many times. I know when to roll. I know when to stay. And when it's good, you stay. You beat down. You what more. We went, and then the surrounding area, we just go drive around, and it's just. I think it was in. You know what? I have so much to show, but there's this town we went through that was deserted and abandoned. And it was like at a Twin Peaks, and we rolled around, and every building was like haunted. Haunted. It was like, oh my God. And then we got followed by these people came out of nowhere, and they chased us out. And I was like, ooh, conspiracy. We went, right. We went into the woods because there's also treasure. Jonathan Bonaparte, he had treasure, and it's missing. So now we're on a treasure hunt. While we're on a treasure hunt, we found this bloody branch that was really soaked in blood, and we had a black light. We found, so we called the police. What's going on here? We went back. We got chased out by, it was a bear. Could have been a Bigfoot, but what was bleeding out? We're still like, why wouldn't the police be interested in this? So right.
So your show covers literally everything. Treasure hunting, paranormal, like it's all the adventure topics all wrapped up into one thing.
It's all there. And I'm afraid to go too big with the production and get a crew, and it's going to ruin it. I want it to be Jack and I, and
you don't need that.
And my nephew Caleb, who's the tech, we're teaching him to be all tech. He's a very talented young guy with tech. So we're like, you're the tech, and he's also really good looking. So he's like, you're the young, good looking guy.
One of those.
I got my fan base is women who have children or boys usually, and they just such nice folks. They're family folks, and they all crowd around and watch Josh Gates, and they say such nice things about me, and I just want to be the best I can be for them, for them, because we're entertainers, right? We take people away, even if it's for a moment. So I'm getting a little emotional. So
that's awesome.
Outside of your show on that you're doing here, you're still involved with Expedition Unknown, correct?
Yeah, I'm one of the DPs now. I checkerboard with Brian Weed.
Okay.
So what's a DP?
A director of photography.
Okay.
So we're in charge of the look and the feel of the show. We're also just seasoned veterans, and we can do coverage ourselves, single camera coverage, which is hard to do, but also when it needs to be lit and beautiful. And we all fly drones. We're like operators. We have a bag of lenses, and like everyone else does, but we don't mess up. We don't double pump, we're recording. Our focus is on the eyes, spot on. That's what and we're always moving our hips, getting that background, the move. We got these techniques that just tried and true. Look, when it comes down to it, you don't want to see some camera move. You want to just hear them what they're saying.
Yeah.
You don't need to get all crazy. Like, hold a wide shot, hold a medium shot, just hold it until they say something good. It's okay. And a lot of rookies, they just move. They think they have to do something. But you look at first. I'm a story guy. I'm just listening, listen. Oh, I can use that. Okay, let's move on. So
you're a busy guy.
I'm real busy now. I got some cool stuff I'm doing now in Hollywood. I work with Dr. Connolly. He does the grills for the famous people. Post Malone. His diamonds in his teeth.
Yeah.
Kanye with his platinum grill that just got put in. So if people hire me at that level, like as a personal, like they want the best.
Yeah.
It's like, Posse is always a filmmaker, but I'm like at the high level, and I'm always slipping into like the coolest, like VIP meeting. I was hanging out with William Shatner. We went on Shark Week, and he's my big. So it's really crazy, my life in a lot of ways. And I'm to the point now. I want to give back. I want to do something. I want to be a storyteller. I don't think I'm at my full potential, and I know that, and I don't think you guys are either. So let's do this.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad we connected.
If I could do 1/4 of the things just in your demo reel for Expedition, I think I would die a happy person.
If you guys want, if maybe we can entertain. Before I was doing this, I was a music video director, and I just cut a new reel.
Yeah.
I would like to show everyone here.
Sure.
It's one of the best things. My reels. It's a real. It's paying homage to the early 90s when I started as a music video director, where I got my start, and also to music itself and how important it is to my edits.
Well, let's do that. We're almost at 2 hours. We could close out with that one, and then I know it doesn't even feel like I looked at the clock. I was like, "Holy cow!"
But, I go on Vimeo and get it, and then turn it up.
Yep. I'll pull it. Let me know when you're ready. I'll throw it up on the screen.
You got it. This is awesome. I get to show this. I'm really proud of this, and it kind of turn it up, kind of make sure it's up loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not loud, but, right. Where is it? Oh God, I develop shows. I'm working with these guys called the Essentials. I do sizzle reels. These guys find bodies when something's, they can't find a body, they call these guys, and these guys.
They're divers, right?
No, that's another crew.
Oh, okay, I've seen that one.
Yeah, these guys are similar, but they're all former CIA, FBI, and all kinds of things, and they are really good folks. And they're saving lives, and they're also I get now attached to things that that are real, that mean something to me, because I'll put my heart into it. Here we go. So I'm going to bring it up full.
All right.
And
there's you.
Ready?
You and Mr. Malone.
Me and Posty. Yeah, we drank Miller Lights and smoked a spliff and my buddy. Oh,
that's awesome.
Right.
That's amazing.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
We don't have sound.
Yeah, I'm not getting sound.
Not getting sound?
No.
We could play it through on our end.
Yeah, if you shoot me the link real quick, and I'll pull it up.
Okay. Here. Sorry.
No, that's cool. And while you're sending that, so obviously your career has primarily focused on kind of real shows like Expedition Unknown. Have you ever, or do you get proposition to do like a show, like someone wants to do something like an X-Files type thing? Do they?
Yeah, I don't do narrative stuff.
Yeah.
I do, but I've done. I guess it's similar. I've done the dating shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I do. Sometimes I just do whatever. I've done Naked and Afraid. That was one of my shows I do. I love that show. That's the real. That's the realest show on TV right there.
We'll have to do a whole episode on Naked and Afraid.
Dude, I have the
funniest idea to me.
Yeah. I have a great story that I could tell while I'm sending this. The guy had a really big member.
We talked about this last time you were on.
I know, it's ridiculous. Well, it came out and everyone was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Damn, dude!" Like, okay. And then I was like, after 2 days, it's like, whatever.
I'm good not seeing that again.
I'm gonna send it to what the regular what you guys sent me.
Probably email.
Text. You can send it on WhatsApp on our WhatsApp channel.
Oh, okay. I just sent it to.
We just made everyone jealous that they're not a part of our WhatsApp channel.
Hey.
That's where we discuss all the behind the scenes stuff that you'll never hear about on here.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more, you have to subscribe to SVC.
Post
Locations
Malone,
Unknown.
He's people that don't know anything about him just see him, visually and probably think like the guy's crazy. But I've heard him in interviews. Like, he's a really smart, nice guy.
Oh, he's smart. Yeah, he's super nice from what I've understood.
Most people in Hollywood that are really successful are like that. Even when I work with Kanye, I had these preconceptions, and he seemed like a nice guy. He just says crazy shit, So what are you gonna? I'm not. I don't know, but most likely when people are really successful and they're confident, they're not D-bags.
Yeah.
That's just me in Hollywood. That's me actually working in this kind of level. They're nice folks, and they're just like us, and they want to do good things. All
right, so Joe's got the video up.
Yeah, you ready?
Come on. All right, y'all. This is it. We're gonna close it out on this. thank you so much for really listening and watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Check us out on YouTube at SVC Explorers of the Unknown. It's on YouTube. It's on all platforms. And if you go to my Instagram, Stone Films Earth, check out the link tree and support us. Love it.
Yeah, we'll actually post the links too in the show description, so people will be able to click on it. All right,
let's do it.
And here we go.
I'm Evan B. Stone, director, editor, and cinematographer, and I've always believed music is more than a sound. It's a soundtrack to life. Music isn't just an auditory experience for me. It's a visual journey. A jump-off point for my creativity. It inspires me. A track has to move me. It gives me inspiration. Every genre, every style of music carries its own emotion, its own unique narrative. My father, a director, instilled in me an early appreciation for good sound. It was in these early years that I discovered sound and music weren't just elements of my creativity. They were my driving force. Storytelling with music and musicians, it's been a cornerstone of my career since the very beginning. Directing music videos on MTV in the early 90s, it wasn't just filming artists, it was telling stories about their songs.
In the beginning, God created the universe.
My lens then shifted, capturing stories where music wasn't just the element, it was the soul.
This is Vanguard.
Documenting social issues, I saw firsthand how music could be a force for change. I closed my eyes. I let the music paint the picture. And then, just like that, I'd create anything I wanted. This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Throughout my career, I've worked with the biggest pop stars and those just beginning their journey.
Hey, I'm Billy Bob Thornton.
My name is Henry Rollins. It's Tony Hawk.
Hey, I'm Perry Farrell.
And this is Current TV, Paul.
Each artist brings their unique flavor, their own story.
It's time to take action, and here's your opportunity.
When I said I am the material girl, I considered it tongue-in-cheek.
What is your definition of a diva?
Those are binges.
Everybody give it up for Michelle Branch.
So when I say I see music, it's more than a metaphor. It's the lens through which I see the world. A world where every beat, every note is a frame in the endless reel of this beautiful art that we call life.
People don't know. That's where I got my start.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I mean, we already knew you did all the adventure stuff, but I mean, all of these amazing musicians you've been around.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's whole career.
It was going like musician, like every couple of seconds. And I was trying like, oh, Madonna, the guy from Blink 182.
Oh yeah.
Soundgarden. I mean, all these, like
and,
every big musician from the 90s, I think you must have filmed.
Oh yeah. I work for MTV. I did MTV News. Besides doing music videos, I did MTV Sports. I was big with like Dan Cortez and all that early stuff. And then I got into documentaries, social issue documentaries. I was one of the people that started Al Gore's Current TV, which is a social issue documentary channel. And I really dug deep in my music video style with documentaries, really resonated with people, with young folks. And then all of that. So is a whole.
That was
career.
great.
That's crazy. We didn't even know that.
You do literally everything.
Yeah.
Emmy Award winner. And in '93, I was nominated Editor of the Year when I was 24 for doing music videos. I was the editor, as well as same thing. I do it all. So
did you get to meet Kurt Loder?
Yeah, actually. But
I love Kurt Loder.
MTV News was a real thing back then, and we broke stories. And,
that was legit.
Yeah. I was, I've been at the beginning of quite a few things in my career, and I'm thinking that this right here, what's happening with filmmakers and content providers, people is super exciting. I think everyone has an opportunity, whatever their expertise is, to be the expert and to make money from it, to make a book or something. It's a really good opportunity, and I love it, and I want to do it too, and so I'm joining.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. I mean, remember that old game, the 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
I think
we're only 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon with this guy, just because we know you.
You might be everyone on the planet.
Let me tell you, someone who's more interesting to me is my brother, Drew Stone. He's one of the seminal people of punk rock movement in New York City. He has his own podcast, New York Hardcore Chronicles, punk rock. Get that dude on your show. He could talk rock, punk rock, music history, rock and roll, like gnarly, so good.
Actually, I'm thinking I'm going to be starting another podcast that's more just focused on individual people and stuff. So that'll be perfect. I'd have you on, I'll have your brother on, but it's going to be more of a just meeting people and learning about what they do. So that'll be
Well, I'll look him up. That
Drew
sounds,
Stone.
Drew Stone.
That's awesome.
I'll listen to his podcast. I love rock. I love the history of rock and roll and all that stuff.
Yeah, he started the COVID. He started what you guys are doing, and boy, he's 300 shows later. He does live shows. He's interviewed at this point a lot of not just punk rock people, but all kinds of folks. He's a really interesting guy and a real New Yorker. Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up, New Yorker? It's really
awesome.
Fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
all
amazing.
Right.
Well, you just dropped that bomb on us right at the end.
I know, right? Yeah, just like a small little side project thing that you. I've worked with MTV and everybody and think is awesome.
It's just I was looking for a way to tell my story in the early days and not just. So again, I narrate it. It's my feeling of storytelling, and I have a whole other career. I did skate films, and I sold. We did good. I did dirt bike films. Independent filmmaker. We sold in skate shops, and that whole thing. And then YouTube came out, and we were done. Yeah. Now they took it all. But I have some seminal skate films that I have filmmakers come up to me. They don't know any of this other stuff. They're like, "You the reason why I got into film. Your film," and they and all the things they tell me about the film. I'm like, I did that for me. Because I was, but I'm glad that that you felt it like that. And so as a filmmaker, that's what it's all about: is trying to reach people, try to tell your story. And everyone got a phone now, an iPhone 15. God bless. Go do it.
Yeah,
go tell your story. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Evan. This is fantastic. And thank you all for tuning into our special 100th episode. We appreciate all of you for sharing and listening Locations Unknown with your friends and family. Be sure to go check out all of Evan's work at the SVC Explorers of the Unknown on YouTube.
All the links will be in below.
We'll have them all below. And for us, be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, wherever you find your videos, especially for this one, because you're going to want to see all the photos and the videos. Absolutely. If you do want to support the show monetarily, you can visit our website or Facebook store to buy our sweet swag. Additionally, you can subscribe to Patreon on YouTube and Apple, and eventually X when they actually approve our stuff, where there's some special events and paid customer only types things. And lastly, when you're enjoying the beauty of nature, whether backpacking, camping, or simply taking a walk, always remember to leave no trace. Thanks, and we will see you all next time.